You can pass the mic to Lilian. Lilian, James mentions the issue around, you supporting, for instance, Henix here to cover a story. Is there a role CSOs and the entire NGO space could perhaps capitalize on to ensure that we cover stories around corruption and underline the word objectively?
Yeah, thank you, Henix. My name is Lilian Gathua from Transparency International Kenya, where we work around corruption issues and work closely with media and civil society, as well as our partners, duty bearers like the county assembly representatives you see here. I think in terms of corruption reporting, and there's a lot of ethical questions in journalism. I know that. And for example, what civil society organizations like TI do, and I know other partners in the room do, is around how do we support the media in terms of the work they do. And one of the ways we do that is through grants issuance, yeah? So that's then, because of course the question of independence of the media or journalists remain paramount. So you don't want to influence journalists to think a certain way or report a certain way and the like, and that's very critical. And for a lot of partners, they're able to distinguish that line, in my experience with civil society organizations and partners, that then, for example, when we issue grants, then it's an independent contract, and the journalist has a way of, has free thinking and free independence to do that. And we found actually that through partnerships, in fact, I actually like to speak about the end game and how does this relationship between civil society and media interact or come about best and work best in terms of then promoting good governance, democracy in the country. And you'll find that media actors or journalists often will do stories or will do reports or features of corruption instances, accountability gaps, whatever the case may be. And once that is, then nothing else happens, right? It's published and it's out there. Most times there's public outrage, especially if it's a huge corruption scandal or something that is of really huge interest to citizens. But then after that, we rarely see action. So we like to say at TI that the journalists have a role to play in terms of exposing corruption, but that's where their work ends. And then we believe that is where also the work of civil society then should start, in terms of then, because we are the ones who know how to push for advocacy and the like.
Thanks. Okay, a minute, please.
Yes.
Okay.
So really, this is an important forum to discuss how do we collaborate together as media and civil society organizations to ensure there's action around the exposes that are around corruption and accountability.
Back to you, Lilian, as we wind up. Yes, there are these opportunities already existing, but there are also others which are untapped. And I'm already foreseeing, picking from what our colleague from Uasin Gishu County has said. But what do you think has not been done before that you think media and CSOs should do, especially after this conference?
Yeah. Thanks for that. I think in terms of collaboration, really, and even picking up from where James has left it off, in terms of as an individual journalist, how do you go about your work and the like? I think there's so much opportunity to enhance and entrench. For example, in the media sector, part of the work TI Kenya does is then promoting mentorship programs, even amongst journalists. That's nothing new, but really around the integrity question, because then sometimes we need to find spaces where we talk to each other about these things, where we encourage each other. I think each profession always, and each sector always has its own issues. So even within civil society spaces, and I think in the first panel today, someone spoke about how even civil society actors are very clear networks. And I think I would also encourage that then even the media actors and journalists, especially the county ones, the county-based ones, are able to then promote such networks and linkages, including mechanisms, referral mechanisms where they have issues, support systems to promote, to support their own work, manage their risk. In terms of, and picking up on the issue of risk management, we've always found as civil society, for example, it's always beneficial when you're working on a sensitive issue or doing advocacy around a sensitive corruption issue, for example, to do so in groups, which is why, for example, Transparency International champions and leads convince the National Integrity Alliance. So within that alliance, with other civil society organizations, we are able to champion anti-corruption issues and to speak truth to power, because some of these things, it can be very lonely when you're working on a sensitive issue, especially corruption issues, and then you don't have the backing of anyone else.
True.
So I think it's something to be considered. Also, in terms of promoting relationships and collaborations between media and civil society organizations, we've seen the benefits of then having media and civil society work together on a specific corruption issue, whether at the county level, at the national level. Each has different strengths that we can leverage on. The media has strengths in terms of investigation and exposing these issues. CSOs have the strength in terms of advocacy and activism.
Okay.
So then ensuring that we're seeing results, because we need to move the needle on anti-corruption, and it will take the work of everyone in this room, including then also promoting engagements with, for example, the legislators. We've seen, I think the speaker mentioned a lot of collaboration in Baringo between CSOs and the assembly. So without those forms of collaboration, even in terms of access to information, without proper collaborations and channels, sometimes as a journalist, the one information item you're looking for can be unlocked by just promoting collaboration, even with legislators, with civil society actors, and the like.